Hello there, guys. Welcome back to the SixYard Banter. And Chelsea fans, let's be honest, this does not feel like a calm build-up to a football match. Tomorrow is an early kickoff against Newcastle, but instead of talking purely about football, we are surrounded by the noise of Maresca being fed up, internal tensions, Manchester City's link, and midfield concerns. And now we have another massive league game that's staring us right in the face. And here's the thing: games like this, Chelsea have historically slipped up in them. And when the opponent is there for the taking, when the narratives says go and win, Chelsea, even when the chaos is swirling, listen, guys, I'm not going to be shocked if this goes south. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be shocked if Chelsea do respond. So let's dive right into it. So in today's press conference, I'm not going to say Maresca really calmed anything down. If anything, he doubled down. Okay, on the Manchester City rumor, he brushed them off as speculation and saying that he's focused and proud to be a Chelsea manager. But what stood out wasn't what he said; it was what he didn't say. Okay, when pushed again by the journalists on his what 48 hours comment, he shut it down completely. No explanation and no clarification. Just I've already spoken about that, and that tells me something. It's this isn't a man who's misspoken. Okay, it's not. It's listen with reference to my video that I've earlier posted. You guys can just take your time and check that out and listen to everything that I've said. Okay, with the links of Manchester City, okay, for Enzo Maresca and the other top clubs, okay, that are interested or showing interest in Maresca. I think Maresca is also aware of that. So right now, it's either the club come around to back Maresca and give him what he wants, or they end up losing Maresca. And I dare say that Maresca is one of the top coaches right now in the Premier League. Okay, he's not the cream de la cream, but he's 1 to 4 best coaches in the league, and he's top 10 manager in Europe as of now. So if you're telling me that there won't be, especially the fact that he's got an incredible agent in Jorge Mendes, who's very powerful in world football. Okay, you think that Jorge Mendes will not be able to get him to any club that he so wants to? George Mendes is the agent of all agents. He's a broker of all brokers. He's one who you have to pay him money to broker or get people to come to the table to have a conversation. That's how powerful George Mendes is. So with that you factor that into everything, and you think that Maresca doesn't you think he doesn't have a backbone. I think he's taking his time to reach the level that he has gotten to. His stocks are high. He's got backings from Pep Guardiola and even some other top coaches and all that. And plus the fact that his works now is what he's done in the last couple of seasons, especially him winning the Club World Cup and the Conference Cup, and the fact that he's had to work magic with the calibers of players that he has available. You think that it's not going to speak volumes? Imagine if he's got the kind of players that is actually demanded or requested for. We can only hope that, or imagine that it will be better than where he actually is right now. And that's the problem Maresca is having with the sporting directors and Bedak Bali. I don't think Todd Bowley is in agreement with Bedak Bali and the rest of, and also having to have so many sporting directors in one club. I think I stumbled across an article where that said that Todd Bowley rather employ a manager and have the manager go on about his job without having to keep responding to or being questioned and criticized every now and then. He hires the manager and provides the manager with the necessary tools that the manager requests or wants, and then allow the manager to go on about his job in hopes that he delivers as expected. But the approach from Benedict Bali and the sporting directors believe in constant collaborations and interview and all that, which is against Enzo Maresca's philosophy. So That being said, I think that it is Chelsea to lose. Okay, if we end up, if with everything that has happened, I'm only saying one thing: Maresca will either not will either he's going to leave. Okay, because it's now going out, it's now blowing out of proportions, and I don't think that um, when you see the way the sporting directors are acting and better than badly, this if they can treat Thomas Tuchel the way they did, okay, you think they won't do the same thing with Enzo Maresca. But the problem is that at what point will they come to realize that something has to give in this strategy, the club strategy? It's not going to yield because every manager who's got ambition, who's got goal for himself, will not want to continue in this way that the club is sticking to. Okay, it's not feasible. It's not going to work. Okay, so like I said, everything it's all about what Maresca didn't say speaks a lot. Okay, it's not a man who's actually who feels questioned, monitored, and frankly, is I mean, it's a man who's just tired of everything. Okay, he's tired of explaining himself every now and then, and when that energy exists around the club, it can bleed into the team's performance. Okay, so with the early kickoff, plus the fact that Newcastle have had enough time to rest, they've had a week to rest. Chelsea took on Cardiff on Tuesday, and it wasn't a convincing win, but then they got the job done. Okay, they've hardly had enough. Luckily for us, we didn't have to use the whole starting 11. Rhys James got to rest. In the second half, Garnacho came on and the like. So even Joao Pedro also had to come on. So, but then when you look at everything, Chelsea will be away from home. It's also an early kickoff. Newcastle is wounded, and Chelsea is now under scrutiny. These are the games where focus slips. And Newcastle, despite their issues, are a team that feed off chaos, duels, and emotional swings. And Chelsea must impose control early, or this will just turn out to be one ugly game. And that's just going to be. So let's just quickly talk about this Newcastle tactical breakdown. Okay, what I think Newcastle would do, because Eddie Howe's Newcastle are still very very known for high intensity, aggressive in the mid. They are also aggressive in the midfield, and they are very very direct in transition. So they will likely press Chelsea's first phase and force long balls, and I think they thrive very well with long balls and target second balls aggressively, like the game against Atlanta. And even though they are plagued with injury at the back line, multiple first choice defenders are unavailable, and they'll be dealing with makeshift partnerships and fullbacks asked to talk in. This is where I think Chelsea should be able to hurt them. And the Chelsea midfield, if Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, sorry, if these two pair duels get the time on the ball, Chelsea will win this game. And if Newcastle turn it into a duel fest and a game of transition and physical scrap, Chelsea will be in serious trouble because the players like Joelinton and the rest. Luckily, Joelinton is likely to be unavailable. So if it turns into a physical scrap, Chelsea will be in trouble. Okay, because this Newcastle side, they're very, very physical, and they're, like I said, they're very, very fast in transition. Okay, where I think Chelsea can hurt them is having Palmer in between the lines, and with the direct pace of Pedro Neto and Garnacho, it can absolutely cook, yeah, but only if Chelsea play with bravery and control the tempo. And we also need to keep our discipline in check because Newcastle will try to rattle Chelsea and get them to commit early fouls. Plus the fact that they have the backing of the crowd, the the first 20 minutes is going to determine what direction this game will go. Okay, and that's the time that Chelsea need to survive. If Chelsea can survive the first 20 minutes, then I think that it's also going to play into Chelsea's favor. And I'm going to tell you why I think that I'm not going to be shocked. I mean, why I'm not going to be shocked if Chelsea slip up. Okay, I'm going to be real with you guys. Yeah, so because of the internal tension. I mean, everything that's happened in the last 72 hours has been really really intense, and I don't know. I really don't know. It's not looking too good. Okay, from my standpoint, from my POV, man, because Man City they don't muck around. If truly Maresca is high on their list, plus the fact that it was Pep Guardiola's number two, you can only Guardiola speaks so highly of Enzo Maresca. Plus the fact that if Guardiola decides to work at the end of this summer and is going to be part of the decision makers for who's going to be coming into the or taking charge or be at the reign of Manchester City. Well, you can see that everything is actually tilting towards the favor of Enzo Maresca. And the internal tension, manager speculation, and selection uncertainty. This feels like one of those games that Chelsea are supposed to win, and it also feels like those games where Chelsea end up slipping up, not because Newcastle are better, but because Chelsea tend to lose focus in situations like that. And that said, if Maresca truly can simplify things like he did against Everton, then I think that Chelsea can come out victorious. And that being said, I'm going to give you guys my predicted lineup for this game, and this is going to be coming in two ways because I've got two lineups for this. And the first one is this. So I'm going to start with Sanchez in goal, Rhys James, Fofana, Chaluba, and Cucurella as the back line, with a double pivot of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez as the midfield pivot, and Cole Palmer playing as the 10. Good thing that we have Moises Caicedo back for this game. I mean, it's going to also help the build-up phase, and hopefully we can do something with the inclusion of Moises Caicedo, and then we also have Cole Palmer, who's also going to be playing in between the lines for Chelsea. And then in attack we have Neto and Garnacho on the left and right respectively, as Joao Pedro will be playing as the striker. And then if need be, we can bring on Gusto in the second half, maybe Tosin or Achempong and Bajeshiri. We also have those ones in the bench. Ato, Santos. We also have Esteval if we need to rest, because we know that we're managing the fitness of Cole Palmer. If we need to rest Cole Palmer in the second half, we can take off Cole Palmer, have Joao Pedro go down there, Pedro Neto tucking in as the striker in the second half, and then Esteval William going back to play from the right. We also have McGee and Tyreek George, and then so this is about more attacking, more risk, and it's good enough. I think it's good enough to punish the Newcastle's backline. Luckily for us, the Newcastle are having such crisis at the back. So and then with that being said, I'll give you guys my second lineup, and not so much changes. It's just that the difference between this one and the other one is the fact that this is the lineup Enzo Maresca uses when he goes toe to toe with these top teams, where we have Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Fofana, Chaluba, and Cucurella as the defenders. And then in the midfield, we have Rhys James and Moises Caicedo as a double pivot, with Enzo Fernandez as a 10. And then in the attack, we have Cole Palmer on the left, Pedro Neto on the right, and then Joao Pedro as the striker. And the bench, we also have Jorgensen, Achempong, Tosin, Badiashile, Hato, Santos, even Esteval, Gittins, Garnacho, Gil, and Buonanotte. This lineup is more of control, less chaos, and probably the safer option for me. But I'll rather I see Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez as a double pivot, and Cole Palmer playing from the 10 rather than from the right hand side. And then to wrap this up this game will tell us a lot about Chelsea, and not it's not going to be talking about Newcastle right now. It's going to tell us how much or how far Chelsea can with how much pressure Chelsea can take, especially in situations or pressure like this. Can Maresca block out the noise? Can the players stay disciplined? And these are questions that we'll get answers to at the end of this game, and if Chelsea can impose their game plan when they're supposed to. Because if Chelsea can't take advantage of a Newcastle side that is having this defensive crisis, then the question will only get louder. And trust me, the noise is not going to go away. So that being said, let me know what you guys think about everything. And in other games that we're expecting, as Arsenal will be going away to Everton. What do I think the score prediction will be on that? I think Arsenal will still find a way to scale through. I wish Arsenal don't have to. Arsenal wouldn't win that game. Probably a draw, but I think Arsenal will grind out the result. I mean, right now Arsenal they are one team to call a mentality beast right now. Their mental toughness is on a different level. So I think that Arsenal will end up winning the game, probably 2-1, and then knockout Manchester City also taking on welcoming West Ham to the Etihad Stadium. I think that's going to be a straight win for Manchester City, probably 3-1. And then we also have the big Buster game where Tottenham welcome Liverpool to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think Liverpool will. That game should end in a draw, a 1-1 draw. I see a 1-1 draw. I just see it. I see a tie. I don't see anybody winning because Liverpool, they are not that tough right now. They're having so much issues, especially at the back line. And then Tottenham, they've started to dip and all that. And then to finish up the score prediction, I think Chelsea, I'm going to go Chelsea. I'm going to be going Newcastle 1, Chelsea 2. Somehow, like I said, I'm not going to be shocked if Chelsea end up slipping up and losing this game. But at the same time, something tells me is that Chelsea could actually just nick a win one way or the other. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this, everything that I've said. What do you think? What lineup would you prefer? What do you think? Do you think Esteval should start? No, I don't think Esteval should start because this Newcastle side are too physical and it might end up hurting the boys. So let's just if we are able to control the game or have the game under control, I think Esteval can come on. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think and what lineup you would prefer. And also good news, as Maresca also confirmed that in the next game against Aston Villa, we should be having Liam Delap back as well as Dario Resugo. So looks like we're going to be having a helper for Moises Caicedo. Finally, the man gets to have opportunities to rest. That's good, which is a good thing. I mean, well, get to see. Let's get through this one first, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, so that's everything that I have for you guys, and don't forget to like this video and share, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell because I'll be here to give you guys my match reaction immediately after the game. So don't forget to check out this space, and please share this video because that's the only way you can help me help this channel grow. Until then, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.